Taylor Time Gaming, clocking back in with you for another Dokkan battle video. You guys see what's on your screen. We got the official scans for V-Jump are in. We know what Golden Week is going to look like this year. If you guys remember, last year was Trunks and Zamasu. So this year is going to be a base form Gotenks and a transforming Boo, which is really awesome, I think. We got all the card art here. Dude, this is Legends down here, so that looks really dope. One thing Legends has over Dokkan, I think, is the card art looks way better in my opinion. But I will say outside of certain units like Bardock, Namek Goku, what's another one that I think Dokkan looks pretty good? Cooler, of course, right? Transformed Blue Gogeta definitely looks fire. So you know, Dokkan definitely has its moments where the art is really fire. But anyway, let's jump into what we have here. So as we kind of speculated, we have base form Gotenks. It's gonna transform into Super Saiyan Gotenks, and then he's gonna possibly have an active skill into Super Saiyan 3, it looks like. So that's gonna be really exciting. Definitely a much needed buff for base Gotenks units. I actually want to bring up all the Gotenks units real quick because I want to talk about something with them. So here's what we currently have in the game at the moment. We have these Super Strike units, not very good. If you're a newer player, the only reason why you'd even grind these guys up is for collection purposes. You know, Super Strike units have no value at all really anymore. There's really just no point in, you know, using them at all. I mean, these guys are okay on like a Fusions team, but outside of that, you're not really going to use them anywhere else. They need to do a lot more with the Super Strike stuff. Bring it back, awaken them, give them easy A's for that matter. Just make them relevant again, you know, because it's a cool idea, right? And there's so much they could do with Super Strike cards. You know, they could even make like an exchange unit a Super Strike one day or something like that. So there's definitely a potential in that area, I think. So here we have the base form Gotenks. You need an easy A, you need an easy A. Maybe they'll get easy A's with the celebration. It's possible. Probably not though. I mean, we'll see. This is obviously the slot that's going to get filled in with this new Dokkan Fest Gotenks. So really cool there. You need an easy A as well. He's a really old unit. These guys need awakenings. His easy A is pretty good. Like if you're going to use him in Super Battle Road. You guys know about physical Gotenks, how amazing of a card this is. This guy's always aged really well. Definitely love his easy A. We have Gotenks and Ghosts, really solid free-to-play unit. Maybe they could get an easy A as well. That is a possibility. There's a lot of units that just need easy A's in this game, essentially. But now we have the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks here. These guys are really solid, but they're more glass cannons than anything. I mean, this guy gets a defensive buff if he's under 11 key, which isn't really like that great for him because, you know, for most of the teams that you're going to use him on, he just overflows with key. So his defensive value is kind of lessened in my opinion, but he's still a great unit nonetheless. And then obviously when physical Gotenks gets his easy A, he's going to be just a problem, right? Absolutely just a hard hitter. They just need to give him a defensive buff really, and I think he'll be, you know, good to go for the long run. And then we have this STR Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, another pretty solid free-to-play unit. Really nothing more outside of that though. This unit, I actually don't have this guy. I would love to get him though. I had him on my old global account back in the day, but you know, he's a login reward card. So I mean, I wasn't playing JP when this guy when they released this guy. So I would definitely love for them to re-release him so I could, you know, have an opportunity to get him. You know, one thing they could do that they have been doing a lot recently is they've been putting like login reward or like exclusive cards to both versions in the Baba Shop for like big time celebrations. So maybe it's possible one day this guy, you know, could get the same treatment. You know, maybe we could pick him up in the Baba Shop one day. That'd be really nice, right? So I guess we'll see. And then obviously we have Super Saiyan 3 Teen Gotenks here. Pretty solid unit. He needs an easy A as well. He works really well on like the Super Saiyan 3 team, Fusions team obviously, Hybrid Saiyans, so he's still a pretty good unit. And then obviously the new Gotenks Xeno unit, pretty recent, pretty solid unit there. But overall, like, we don't have like a really top tier base form Gotenks or Gotenks unit for that matter, right? So the fact that we're getting this unit, I think it's important. Good update for for the Majin Buu art category. Um, and in terms of like what category lead he could be Hybrid Saiyans, maybe Super Saiyan 3. Probably not more likely, just because you're probably not even going to use the Space Form Gotenks on a Super Saiyan 3 team anyway, depending on what his transformation conditions look like. I mean, we don't know anything yet. They never released like crazy specific details of V-Jump. We have to wait till they reveal them on Twitter. But he could be a lot of category leads. He could even introduce like a new category. Maybe, well, he's going to be a good buff for the youth category, but then he could introduce like a arrogant category. I think that would be really cool, right? You could have like the Vegetos on there. Maybe you could have like Gohans on there. All the Gotenks, of course. So, but I mean, I think that category would be a lot of relap over like Majin Buu and stuff. So we'll see what they decide to do with him. But overall, I'm really excited for this unit. Gotenks was never one of my like most favorite characters ever in the series, but he's still like a pretty cool character. To me, he was always just kind of like one of these characters that was kind of got like annoying with his cockiness, and like he'd show up, they'd fuse, and then he'd get like one shot, he'd get ass whooped. Like he's just that's kind of like the whole premises behind Gotenks. But overall, he's still such a a cool character. He has so many techniques that he uses too. Like that is one thing that I do like about Gotenks for sure. But let's jump back over to V-Jump real quick and let's talk about Buu. So here we have the card art for Buu and everything. Looks super dope, of course. So we have Fat Buu here, and then he's gonna be an exchange unit into Evil Buu. Well, he's gonna be Fat Buu, and then he goes into Fat Buu and Evil Buu, and then he's gonna exchange into Evil Buu. So that's really cool. And then I guess he's gonna take an active skill or a transformation into Super Buu. So that's basically the premises behind this card. I am really excited that they're doing more with the exchange mechanic. They just recently brought back it with LR Nappa and Vegeta. They hadn't done anything with exchange units since exchange LR 16, 17, and 18. Yeah, I mean, and then before that, they introduced it during the 300 million download celebration, right? So the fact that they are kind of starting to bring back the swap mechanic, I think is definitely a good idea, because there's so many units they could do interesting things for. So I think this is definitely a step in the right direction, especially for a unit like this. Buu, who has so many different transformations and characters and things like that. There's definitely big time potential. So let's talk about the Buu units that are currently in the game. We have this STR Fat Buu, solid AoE, pretty good for World Tournament, but outside of that, I can't really give him anything else. Nothing really too amazing, right? And then we have this physical Fat Buu. He's part of the Hero Extreme EZA event, so I do expect him to be getting an EZA along with all those other units, so that'll be a nice buff for him. Evil Buu here, pretty good unit on a Majin Buu art team or against a Majin Buu art enemy. That's really where you're going to want to be using this guy. Outside of that, he's just solid at best. And then we have, this guy needs an EZA. Nobody likes pulling you, so we're not going to talk about you. When this guy gets his EZA, his Awakening, the 50% support type units, you guys know what they do. These guys are just problems. Like, they do just, you guys know all about them. We don't need to go into him. But, another thing that I just realized that's interesting is, we don't know the typings of these units yet. So, if this physical Buu is, like, extreme physical, if this extreme Buu is extreme physical, dude, he's gonna be really good with this guy right here. When this guy gets his Awakening, which I could see happening during the celebration. Same thing with the Ultimate Gohan, the Mystic Gohan. I think they are gonna get their 50% support Awakenings during the celebration, so we'll see what happens with that. But they're definitely gonna be a problem together for sure. And then, well, that's depending on if this new Dokkan Fest Buu is extreme physical, but I guess we'll see. And then we have the Buu, Gotenks, and the Piccolos here. Not really that great. Nothing too much to talk about with them. They're just really old units in general. We have Buuhan here. pretty solid EZA, so I don't want to hate on him too much, but you know, a lot of people don't use him. I feel like they could have made his EZA a little bit better, but you know, we do need an LR version of this guy, you know, sooner rather than later. And then obviously this guy right here, just another old unit, needs an EZA. And then we have EZA Kid Buu. I don't use this guy too often. He's still pretty solid EZA. We have Int Kid Buu, who needs an EZA badly. This guy needs a lot. Just give him, I don't know. We need an LR version of this guy. And, you know, so many people want that. And I think they could, you know, do crazy things with this guy. And just make him, like, the best unit in the game. Like, no one would be mad if that happened. Just give him, he gives himself 10 key at the start of turn or something. And, you know, there's a lot they could do with him. But I do expect to see an LR version of Kid Buu sooner rather than later. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. And then physical Kid Buu here, of course. Everyone uses this guy just because he's such a good support type unit with his passive buff and everything he does. So really solid there. And then obviously Mr. Buu just recently got his awakening with a recent world tournament we had. Really good on like a Resurrected Warriors category, you know, with the double orb changing and stuff like that. Pretty solid card in my opinion. And then we have Shape Up Buu, who has been in the game. When did he come out? Let's see here. He came out 2017. Are you serious? Wow, dude, I didn't realize he was that old. Damn, dude, he's been in the game for that long and they've never touched him. Man, that's crazy. Oh man, they really could do some interesting things with him. They gotta, like, I don't know, they gotta put their foot down and give our boy Shape Up Buu some love, man. He didn't get in shape for no reason. Like, come on, man. It's like I feel like they just like forgot about him. They had to have, because man, when was the last time they? Well, actually, I can tell you exactly when they took a unit, and you know they still haven't awoken him since the beginning of the game. STR Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, which actually doesn't exist at all in the series. It's like Dokkan just decided to make up that card, but that's just one example of a unit that, you know, has been in the game since who knows how long. Who can even remember, right? And they've never even touched, right? So they definitely, there's a lot of units in this game they definitely gotta go back and, you know, give some awakenings to for sure. But don't want to get too much into that. But finally, not least and last, we have Kid Buu Bobbity, another unit that's just been on every banner. Nobody really cares about pooling. So overall, if you take a look at all these Buu units, like, we don't have a top tier option here. You know, all these Buus, you know, the best ones are good at best, right? Like, I can't give them anything else, right? So the fact that, you know, we're getting another version of this guy who goes into this guy and then, you know, replaces this guy essentially who needs it, is definitely something that we need in the game, and I think most players are definitely, you know, excited for, I would say. Me personally, I'm a lot more excited for the Buu than I am the Gotenks, just because you know, I've had this guy, you know, for a while now, and literally I've never used him. Like, I don't think a lot of players use this guy. He's just underwhelming. I mean, he's still a pretty good, you know, Dokkan Fest unit. You know, he's not terrible, but he's just certainly not up there with the most recent Dokkan Fest units that we've gotten. So in terms of like what this Buu could lead in terms of like categories, maybe he could be an artificial life form category lead, maybe a new sub lead for the Diabolical Fiends category. Probably not, just because that category is so new. I don't think these guys would be a Majin Buu art category lead, but I mean, it's possible, I guess, right? I mean, we'll see. Maybe he could introduce a new category like the regen category. That would be super dope, right? Because that category has a lot of potential, a lot of power in it. So I do think it's highly possible that we will see both of these units lead new categories, just because, you know, that's typically a thing they've been doing in Dokkan recently with pretty much all of the Dokkan Fest in 2020. They've all brought in new categories. So anyway, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video. Let me know what you guys think of all the stuff that we have going on for this year's Golden Week. I think it's going to be super hype. I definitely think we'll be getting some pretty good EZAs. If they don't do an EZA during the celebration, I mean, your boy is going to have to freaking fly to Japan, go down to Akatsuki Bandai and give them the business, because I mean, Dude, we've gotten multiple celebrations now without an EZA and other content that we should have gotten, and you know, we can't be having that for sure. Especially when EZA is the best thing that's happened in Dokkan. Like, it just can't happen like that. So anyway, I don't want to drag this out any longer. I feel like we covered. Oh, one other thing before we go. They are actually explaining a little bit more information about the new Chain Link event that should be coming Golden Week. Obviously, it looks like so. I'm definitely super excited for that new mode too, right? It's not just, you know, going to the stage, bubble pop, you know, pick units, whatever. So this definitely looks like something completely different. They're trying things, you know, that's what we want to see Dokkan do, right? Try new things, experiment, see if it works, see how we like it as a fan base, right? As a player base. So I think I'm really looking forward to that new event whenever it comes out. So anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for everything that I want to talk about. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you guys think about Golden Week, these new units, how hype you are. Maybe you're not hype. Let me know everything that you think. So anyway, until next time, your boy's clocking out. Catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.